station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala!
With the sun and it burns until the day is done.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Friday morning. Anybody who's ever visited Marion County has asked about the horse farms and the horses, and anybody who's lived here for any time has driven past them. Many of you have probably visited some of those horse farms, and maybe many of you have not, and that's one of the reasons I love Horse Sense, which is the show we're about to do right now. The Equine Alliance of Marion County brings us this show each week, and it is a wonderful opportunity to kind of understand that this beautiful animal in all these beautiful farms all over the county are actually visitable. You can visit them, and it's not as standoffish as I once thought anyway. And the reason I know better than that is because of Crystal Furlong and Mark Shuffett and Dory Morgan and Tammy Gant and the other folks, Barbara Fidos, who've come in here and educated us about the horse industry on this program called Horse Sense. All right, now Crystal Furlong is on the phone to do that again. Good morning, Crystal.
Good morning, Larry. How are you?
Pretty good. Where is everybody today?
Oh, it's just been one of those weeks where everybody's work has called everybody in a lot of different directions, and Mark's off at a cattleman's deal, and Dory's got some stuff at Farm Credit she's buried in on, and, just that's one of the things with this committee. I mean, everybody has their own jobs or businesses that they're running, and we do what we do because we love this area, and we love the equine industry. We love the fact that it makes Marion County such a unique and wonderful place to live and work. And, we've seen other places over the years, different areas of the country that have kind of lost that connection, and the industries kind of fade away. We did not want that to happen here. So us and there's other organizations and stuff that do a lot of work towards that, but kind of our main goal is to, as our quote-unquote mission statement says, is to connect, communicate, and educate. And along the lines of what you were just saying, I had a gentleman stop at our office over at the stallion operation, Journeyman Stud, yesterday, and he just walked in, and he was a retired gentleman, and came in and he said, we've moved here. We've been looking for things to do. We've been up to Gainesville to the butterfly thing. We've walked around the butterfly thing, as he said. We walked around over at the horse sale, but we're looking for things to do in the horse industry. And he said, my wife and I are very adventurous. We like to be involved in our community and learn what's going on. So he said, we just decided we were going to take a drive through around where the horses community was, the farms and stuff, and he said, we just pulled into your front gate. And so I started telling him about the Farm Tours of Ocala, Karen Grimes, and I was telling him all the places she goes, and he had gotten on to Florida Thoroughbred Breeders Owners Association's website and had printed up some stuff. And when I told him kind of what we do and that he could go to our website and find all area industry links and stuff to where he could find what's available for him to look at, he said, what a great idea. I mean, there's so many breeds here. He said, how is somebody like me supposed to be able to know what to go look to do? There was no one place to be able to go and say, well, what is there in the equine industry here to do in Ocala, Marion County? And that's us in a nutshell. We're that source of information. Anybody who's new into the business that says, hey, look, I'm looking for this or I'm looking for that, call us. We know who to put you in contact with.
That's true.
Yeah, so we always have in October, the last several years, we've had what we call our business sense exchange, equine business sense exchange. And we're having another one this October. It's either going to be the 14th or 15th. We're kind of still working on that. But it's going to be in a new location, and we're working on some changes to it. It's going to be bigger, better, much more exciting. We're kind of really excited about this, and we'll have probably more details maybe by next week's show. And then we're working on another big exchange between business owners and people around here for January, and they both coincide around the October OBS sale and the January OBS sale, and it will be bringing the community and those sales together, as well as doing a business kind of exchange networking deal at the same time. So
wow.
We're pretty excited. Yeah, we're pretty excited about them.
Do you know, one of the things that I know was a fear, and maybe you can help me understand this, when the Highway 200 corridor was being developed, and it looks considerably different now than it did in the 70s when I first moved here. And
Yep.
there were lots of horse farms, and I guess they're still there, but I don't see as many horses. And then, of course, some of the areas don't even have the farms anymore. But did they move, or did we lose them?
Majority of them just moved. Ocala Stud, but a lot of their property was where the mall is, and they still are on their property right behind the mall. They've since sold it, and they're just there throughout their lease. But they've bought another farm. That's where all their yearlings and stuff are, and they do their early breaking and stuff out on 441, heading to almost down to where the road 441 splits and you go off to Spar.
Right.
It's out that way. They're still here. Some of the farms come and go, but there's still a lot of big horse farms here. And back then there was several big horse farms, but there wasn't a lot of little horse farms. And it's kind of morphed into where there's still several big horse farms, but this is as we always say, it's the horse capital of the world. There's more horses and ponies here than anywhere else in the United States. But the majority of what I find most people find most interesting when we do our short courses and our business exchanges is how many people make their living with the horse industry here, that maybe have 80 acres or 100 acres so it's really kind of morphed over the years to where there's more people actually in the horse business than what there used to be in the 70s.
Wow. There's a horse farm, if you don't mind me asking, I don't know if this is, there's a farm owned by a magician lady down on 484, and the name of the farm is Abracadabra Farms, but there's this, I don't know if it's local folklore or something that a lady magician lives there or did live there. Do you know what I'm talking about? No. That's Barry Berkelhammer. Oh, okay.
I know Barry very well. Is a good friend. He's been around the industry forever. Actually, came here as an equine dentist years and years and years and years ago. And I don't mean to make him sound old. He's not. He's not at all. But he does. He's bought a lot of really successful horses for people. That's kind of what Barry does. Is he goes and buys horses for people at like yearlings and 2-year-olds, and then does their breaking and training and sends them off to their trainers and kind of manages their racing stables for him. He's been extremely successful. But no, it's not. He's not a magician.
But there wasn't a lady named Melanie, or gosh, I can't remember the name that they were saying, Melanie, or no.
Maybe there was. Maybe that's why he kept that name. Maybe there was a magician lady that lived there before. I oddly enough, and now I'll have to and report back to you, find why he kept the name Abracadabra, but. But yeah, he's not a girl. He's a guy.
So he's a dentist.
Big guy too.
A horse dentist. I never even realized horses had dentists.
Oh yes. They have. When they're yearlings, about the time you're going to start breaking and training, they don't really lose their teeth, but they have what are called caps, and as their mature teeth come in, they'll have a cap come off that. It's almost like a little cup over the real adult tooth that's coming out, and you'll have to pop those caps out when you start to have to put bits in their mouth and stuff, because they'll be loose and they'll bother them, and so a dentist will just go in and pop those caps out, and then they'll have what's called wolf teeth, which are almost kind of like our wisdom teeth.
Oh,
and
really?
They set back farther in their mouth, and again, a bit in their mouth bothers them. Sometimes they grow in wrong, like a human's wisdom teeth do, and they'll hurt them. And so there's times that you'll have to take those out. But then general maintenance is what's called floating. They'll float their teeth, and so a horse grinds their food with their front teeth. So they're where like our teeth come together, and usually your front teeth go over your bottom teeth. A horse's teeth need to come together, because they're wider and flatter. Like ours are long and skinny on the ends. Theirs are wider and flatter. So when they go to eat, they actually grind their teeth together to, whether it's grain or grass or whatever it is, you'll see them, that's what they do. They don't chew in the back of their mouth.
Like we do.
So sometimes as a horse gets older, that'll become unlevel, and their eating becomes inefficient because their teeth don't match up. So a dentist will look at that, and they just take looks like a long rasp, and they just go back and forth and take off the points and the edges, so it makes it easier for the horse to chew.
Oh, wow! And is that why we don't look a gift horse in the mouth, because the dentist didn't get them?
There you go. It can make a huge difference. You'll know, like if you've got like an older mare, especially, and you go to feed her and you come back and she's standing there eating, and you're going, gosh, she's kind of dropping weight, but you normally see a lot of feed on the ground. Then if you peel her lips back and look, you'll probably figure out that by seeing, you'll be able to tell that her teeth aren't coming together right. So a lot of the food is falling out of her mouth. So you float her teeth, level her teeth up, and then all of a sudden there's no grain laying on the floor in front of the tub no more.
And do they know? I mean, does an animal know that, oh man, you just made my life so much better? Do they know that?
I doubt it. They just know that they're not as hungry as what they were when they're not as hungry.
Let me invite listeners to call. If you have a question for Crystal, this is a good time to call. We are live on August 8th. Crystal's not in the studio, but she'll be able to hear you on the phone. The number is 622-WOCA. And this is the time of the show where we would slip in your sponsors if you wanted to mention them.
Yeah, I do. We've got two new ones. We've got American Payroll and Benefits. They are local here in Ocala. You can get their website at AmericanPayrollAndBenefits.com, and they're a soup to nuts kind of place. They do everything: payroll administration, personal management, risk management, unemployment claims. If you're a small business starting out or a medium business starting out and you don't want to have to mess with quarterly taxes and payroll, they have a service that does that. They also do like employee handbooks and unemployment claims and hearings, just about anything to do with employment, payroll. They're a wonderful organization. I use them myself with our company. They're great. We also have Southeast AgNet. They're a multimedia site, and they're dedicated to all things agriculture in the Southeast. You can get to their website at southeastagnet.com, and it's anything, not just horses. It's produce, it's pasture management, it's any kind of stuff that you would do agriculture in the Southeast. You can find it there. They've got a lot of podcasts that you can watch. Really wonderful, wonderful site. And then our old friend, Infinite Natural Day Spa, located downtown. They're actually was awarded the best spa in Ocala in 2014, and again in 2013, and again in 2014. They have a thing going on right now where if you refer a friend, you get 10% off. If you refer 5 friends, you get 1 free service for 5 friends. They have a ladies' night out once a month with all the hits at we have music and stuff playing, and the Island Grove Winery. Really fun place to go. It's a very unique, different kind of spa here in Ocala, and they've got a lot of exciting things coming up. We're going to be doing a lot more with them. Winslow, the owner, is a wonderful, wonderful lady. Really, really, really. How would I say it? She's really more of that European type of spa, but a really warm, friendly place to go. And then, of course, FTBOA. You can get to their site at ftboa.com. Of course, they do more than just thoroughbreds. They do all kinds of breeds and disciplines there, and just about anything in the equine industry going on in Marion County, you're going to find out about it at ftboa.com. And we have a little bit of exciting news. We had mentioned week before last about that movie 50 to 1, the story on Mind That Bird, the horse. Right. Remember this story? We actually got some news this week that movie is going to be coming to the Marion Theater.
Oh, nice.
On August 29th. Stephanie from with marketing at the horse park kind of made it happen, and there's going to be a lot of exciting things going on with that.
Oh, exciting.
And Tammy with FTBOA has done a lot with trying to promote that and make that happen. So, the FTBOA is kind of like us in the vein that, in Tammy's position especially, they're, reaching out and trying to make that connection with the community for everything horses.
Yeah, absolutely, and doing a good job at it too. Somebody emailed a question for you. Are you ready?
Okay.
Is it possible to visit a horse farm to see a horse being born?
Well, kind of. The problem with that is they're usually about 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning.
Oh no.
Yeah, my husband Brent and I still do all of our own foaling. And we foal anywhere from, year before last it was about 86 mares. This year it was around 70. And the foaling barn is a walk away from our house, and that's just one of those things we've never given up. It's kind of like a Christmas package every time you go down there. But I've had a lot of people ask about that, and
really?
It would take you happen to be there. You can kind of tell when mares are getting close on several different veins, but sometimes I go into the foaling barn at night on my way home, and I look at them, and I'm like, you're holding your breath. Why haven't you gone yet? But it's nature. It goes when it goes, and it's a really amazing thing because the foals are usually up on their feet within 15 to 30 minutes.
That is fascinating. I've never seen one being born either, and I guess it would be cool to see. But if somebody wanted to, they'd have to first, ask permission. Can I be there? And then and have the possibility that it wouldn't happen that night, right?
Right. Absolutely. We have talked about getting one videoed and having it on the website and on the Facebook page, and you want it to be one that goes nice and easy, and and everything is good, and then 99% of them are, but it's really amazing. I mean, they come out and the foal's shaking his head and trying to wake up, and
wow, that is cool.
Within 10 minutes they're already working at trying to get themselves up, and I never get tired of seeing the first time they actually make it to their feet, and all the thousands of mares that Brent and I have foaled, you're always like, yay, the first time they get up, and they're kind of like, it's kind of like they're on pogo sticks, but within probably 15 or 20 seconds, they got it. It's that herd mentality. It's a herd mentality that's bred into them, because in the wild, if the mare kind of wanders off and she's going to have her foal, and that foal's got to get up, and they got to keep with the herd. So it's an instinctual thing it's very strong in horses. Wow,
the way you just described it makes me want to come see it. So
it's amazing, Larry. I mean, it's I had somebody here in my office this year that was putting in some equipment, And I'm sitting here, and I'm in my my dress and my nice shoes, and it was like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the guy down at the other farm calls and says, "We just had a mare break water," and Brent was in town. And during that time of year, I keep myself ready. So I go in, I take off the dress, I throw on my coveralls, and for some reason my foaling boots weren't here. So I take off in my coveralls and my high heels.
Oh no!
Out to my car, and the guys that were here said, "Can we come?" And I said, "Okay, but if I tell you to leave the barn, you need to leave the barn." So they came down. I called down there, and I said, "Go down to my house, get me some boots." One of my guys was standing there with my foaling boots. I flip off my high heels, stick on my foaling boots, go into the barn, and that particular mare, the foal had a leg over the top of his head, so I had to reach in the mare.
Oh wow!
Take a hold of the leg, pull it down, so it made the delivery easier, and and the mare lays down, and we pull the foal out, pull the afterbirth off, do all the stuff that you do. And they were standing there, and one of them actually grew up in an area in another state where he'd been around farming, and they were just like, "Well, you said you did the foaling. We didn't think you actually. I mean, you were like in there."
Oh wow! Yeah. Were they getting sick? But what would have happened?
Yeah.
Under what circumstances would you have told them to get out of the barn?
Oh, nature is nature. If the foal was coming wrong, if it was going to be something that, took some work to do. And every once in a while you'll have one that, the foal's positioned wrong or, something is wrong. 99% of the time things go okay. But, if something was going to go wrong, I wouldn't want to have to worry about somebody being in my way. So,
well, you just put that's on my bucket list now. I'm going to make this something I see at least one time. And now that I know you, I'm gonna say, Crystal, when? Just tell me when. I'll get up at I'm up at 3 o'clock anyway. So.
Oh, okay. Well, the majority of the mares tend to foal in like March, April, and May. They'll actually start foaling in January, but later part of February, March, April, early part of May, that's when we're really, really, really busy. So maybe this year I can say, "Okay, Larry, I've got 4 that I think are on go. If you want to sit up with the night watchman and see if this will go, one of these guys will go."
That would be cool.
Then you can tell your listeners firsthand.
And then the rest of that horse's life, I would feel at one with that horse. I would say, "Where's the horse now? What's the horse's name?" I'd be, that would be like an adopted horse mentally, or spiritually, or something.
See, and then you could be there when it gets turned out the couple days later. You can be there when it's weaned from it, because that's what we're doing right now. The foals that were born this year, we're what's called weaning them. We're actually, they're 5-6 months old, and we're taking them away from their mothers right now.
Oh wow! All this, we drive past them, all we see is these beautiful horses. Well, once in a while we see the beautiful babies, and it's just cool to watch. We don't know all the work that goes into it.
Well, and most of the people in the horse industry around here love talking about their horses and the industry, and anytime I'm out in the community and somebody finds out what I do, if they ask questions, I never go, "Oh, geez, I don't want to talk about this." I love talking about horses to people because I love watching their reactions when they're around them.
Yeah, and hopefully you just heard mine, and I think I represent the audience. I'm guessing a lot of them were all ears too. Probably turned up the radio a notch or two. Crystal, we are at the end. That was the fastest horse sense I think we ever did. Do you want to be? We got like 50 seconds. You want to give out a phone number or a website or Facebook information?
Absolutely. I've just put up this morning. I put up some information on the 50-to-1 race. That's the movie that's going to be at the Marion Theater. There's the trailer is up there, so you can go on there and watch the trailer for that. And I've posted Frankie Lovato's racing term of the day, past performances. So if you ever go to the racetrack, and you get the racing form and you see all that stuff in there, it's actually the horse's past performances, what they've done before, and that's kind of how you figure out who you want to bet on. So that's up there. So Horse Sense Ocala on Facebook and Equine Alliance of Marion County on our website. And come and, send us questions. We're here. We're here to communicate.
Very good. Crystal, great show. Thank you so much. And missed seeing you here, but it was fun to chat with you on the phone.
Yeah.
And I put your picture up, by the way, during the whole video part of this. So.
I hope you used a good one. I hope it was a well-rested picture.
You look wonderful. Thank you, Crystal. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay, Larry. See you later.
That
Bye.
was fun. We'll take a little break. We'll be right back.
Different breed. Come on, follow me. We'll make it through.